Right, so I'm here with Ken and Bradley Cooper to follow up on an interview that hopefully you will have all read by now. Obviously on the story of Ken's involvement in drag racing, and then followed on into Bradley following on in Ken's steps. So, sorry?
They're certainly big shoes to fill.
And so it's Dragstalgia 2022. We're obviously up in the pits here, and got Ken and Bradley sitting in the car. So perhaps in your own time, Ken, if you would just give us a bit of a rundown now on the car here that you built that Bradley's now racing, and we'll come to a couple of your times in a moment that you've done here at Dragstalgia. But first of all, let's hear from you a description on just when you started building the car, a little bit about it, and where it's got us today. So in your own time, please, Ken.
It was about 2010, something like that. The thing was, Bradley had crewed for another dragster, and then the guy packed it all in, and he missed crewing on a dragster, and he said, I'd love one of my own, you know. So would you build another one, you know? And I was a bit non-committal. I said, well, I suppose I could. So it went from there, didn't it, basically?
Yeah.
I got a pile of tubes, and then we were looking for parts, basically. It was a long way trying to find an engine because they're quite scarce and they're very expensive, weren't they?
Yes.
So it took us a long time, probably almost a year, before we could find an engine. But we found one eventually, didn't we?
Yeah, we found an engine.
Found an engine. And it was very protracted. It took me 2 years altogether to build it, which is a long time. I mean, I would normally build one in about 6 months. But trying to find the parts.
And you were 74.
And I was 74. And the other thing was as well, I shouldn't say this, but Bradley was quite fastidious. He had definite ideas of what he wanted, whereas I would use anything I could find. But Bradley wanted specific wheels, specific tyres, didn't you?
Yeah, I wanted it to look like a 60s dragster.
He wanted it period, so that delayed us a little bit, finding the correct parts for the era. Else I would have knocked it off a lot quicker. But it took about 2 years. Debuted it in 2012.
In 2012 at Avon Park at Shaker.
Yeah. And it was well received. We were pleased with that. Nobody took the mickey out of it, did they at all?
And everybody loved the fact that Dad was there with the flathead dragster, of course. You know, this is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. But I built the frame myself. It's ordinary CDS tubing. I bent all the roll cage myself. Blah blah blah. Made the body panels. Built the engine, obviously. It has a 3-speed Mustang transmission in it, automatic, and that was Bradley's department because he is a transmission builder. I had to shorten it to get it into the car, and Bradley modified it with all the usual mods, reverse pattern, manual shift, trans brake, etc, etc. High stall converter, 4,300 stalls that, so he launches the car at 4,000 RPM. It's a Dana axle, end of a Volvo, which I narrowed at home, blah blah blah. Changed the stud pattern for American stud pattern. And that's about it really. It's quite a heavy car. I never normally build a car this heavy when I was racing, but the point is it's my son, safety's paramount, so I use much heavier gauge tubing than I would use myself, and I made it really, really extra strong basically. So it's a heavy car, it's about 1,200 pounds, whereas my car's usually with about 975. I got them down into the high 800s eventually, but they were dangerous. I used to have to cut the frame off after a couple of seasons and put new tubing on because it was fatiguing, more so on the trailer. That's the trouble with dragsters, you turn around the country and it's the fatigue on the trailer more than drag racing. Because after all, it's only seconds. If you have 2 or 3 hours on the trailer, you know, it doesn't do them any good. So we've got to
Got it on the track, yeah.
So We had a very small engine to start with,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah.
So it was running about sort of 12 seconds most of the time. wasn't
Yeah.
It was more or less a stock size engine.
Because also, Dad didn't know if I was going to like this.
That was the thing, isn't it?
That was the thing.
I thought, we spent a lot of money, make a super light car, but if he doesn't like it, I've got to sell it. So,
But luckily,
I tried to meet all the rules, because there are rules building the car. Certainly where you can put the tube in and the uprights and all the rest of it. So I followed that very religiously.
yeah,
I tack welded that up strong because my son's driving it, his safety's paramount.
a bit louder. A bit louder in
The
your
cars
voice.
that I built were only £950, where this is about 1200. But anyway, I wasn't sure whether he was going to like it. So I thought, I'll have to make it saleable. So I tacked all the roll cage on, and then per the rules, I had to have it heliarc welded by a professional. So I took it to Jeff Hauser, and he very kindly heliarc welded it so that it passes the spec. So if he doesn't like it, I could sell it as a genuine frame, it's usable. So that's the part that I didn't do. I made all the cage, but Jeff welded it on for me, okay? So we debuted it then, didn't we, at Long Last?
Yeah, 2012.
2012. And amazingly, he liked it. He made his first run, we went to pick him up and thought, oh, I wonder what he's going to look like. He's going to have a long face, or I don't want to do that anymore. When we got within about 50 yards, he was out the car with the fag, and he was screaming. I won't tell you what he said because it's rather rude, you know. So he obviously likes it, you know. So it was a big relief for me and Denise to think, well, I haven't wasted 2 years, you know, it's a few thousand quid, you know. So he liked it, so yeah. So that was a big relief for me. But yeah, he's liked it ever since, basically.
So just before I ask Bradley to take up on the story and his bit and driving the car, just to ask you, Ken, for a second,
Yes.
something to do with, just tell me the little story behind the t-shirts that you...
Yes. You probably know this is an original T-shirt that we had when we had the British Flathead Dragsters Association, right?
Yeah.
1973, I think this was designed. And I've still got one left, and Bradley's had a lot more printed off it. Because quite a few people were interested in it, surprisingly. We have got rid of one to sit this morning, haven't we?
Yes, great.
Yeah. But I designed this back in the early 70s, yeah.
Could you loan me a couple of your original
You must have seen
shirts for Nick to scan, didn't you, for the gallery?
Yeah,
So but this is one of the new ones, obviously.
Yeah, that's
so,
right. Not so faded, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ken. So, Bradley,
Yes.
Hello.
over to you.
Hello.
Tell us how it all started for you once Dad had built the car and your
Well, yeah, Dad
experience.
had built the car and I made my first couple of runs at Avon Park, and as Dad said, I was elated with my first pass. I think it was about a 13:01. I did about 98 mile an hour, but I can tell you for a fact I went to the top end with the biggest smile on my face ever. Yeah. And what I did was, I got it, and the word I used was, I fucking love it. I absolutely loved it. I could not believe it. And that was it then. I got the bug. So we got a stock flathead in it. So the next thing was, we're going to make a bigger engine for it. And I want to go quicker and I want to go faster. And over the years, we've got quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. We've had a lot of mishaps along the way. We've had a lot of uphill struggles with it. We've had a lot of people tell us it won't do what it should do with the technology and what we've been using with it. But this weekend at Dragstalgia, we finally put it into the 10s. And that's what the whole game was. I wanted a 10-second flathead, and Dad wanted to put his son up a drag strip in a 10-second flathead.
And what were those two 10-second runs exactly?
I ran a 10.83 and I backed it up with a 10.98.
And that was this morning on Sunday?
And that was on Saturday morning, first thing.
Yeah. And then you backed it up today with the...
I haven't backed it up today yet. I backed it up on Saturday.
Okay.
Consecutive runs.
Yeah, in consecutive runs. So I feel confident I've got a 10-second car. And that's about me lot really, because that's the end of the story at the moment.
Probably just about sums it up.
It about sums it up really, yeah. I don't know what today's going to bring. It's a bit too warm. and I'm just enjoying myself really at the moment. I'm basking in the glory, as I say, I think. Yeah, and I'm just trying different launch techniques. I haven't launched it on the stall yet this weekend, so the 10s came without its full potential. So a lot more we can do to the car, and we're going to do to the car. We're just enjoying ourselves at the moment. Really am enjoying ourselves. Been the best weekend's race we've ever had.
We've got the weather for it as well, haven't we?
Beautiful weather. Dad's had a constant smile on his face. He ran a 10. I think he's knocked about 10 years off him. We haven't slept. We've done a lot of screaming, a lot of shouting. My partner Denise, she's lost her voice nearly. Yeah, it hasn't really sunk in yet, I don't think. I think when we get home tonight, Sunday, me and Dad are having a curry, it'll sink in for us. But I'm very proud. Mine and Dad's biggest concern was nobody would accept the car and accept that it's a flathead, it's an old technology car, but everybody's accepted the car and everybody likes the car and everybody likes seeing Dad racing again. And that's the biggest thing for us, I think, really. It's being accepted.
Yeah.
You know. And I'm more proud than who my dad is, you know.
Yeah.
It's not often you get a legend for a dad, do you? You really don't, you know. And I'm glad I've done my dad proud, and I'm glad I've done the flathead engine proud, and I'm glad I've done it, you know. And I want to do it again and again and again.